Hello, everybody. Welcome to Matt's Chats. Today's guest is MrCreepyPasta. Spike, how are you today, my man?
I'm doing good, doing good. How about yourself, man?
Not too bad. I've been sick all day, so I'm just glad I
Oh
was able to
shit.
make it.
Hopefully it's not Corona
No,
or
it's
anything like that.
it's not. It's not. I don't know. I just kind of woke up feeling like crap, and then it just got progressively worse. So I took a few hours
Mm.
to nap, and now I'm feeling great for the most part.
Okay.
So,
Hey, I'm glad that you're feeling better then.
uh,
Otherwise, like I can't imagine how like the podcast goes through like this if you're not feeling good.
it dies. The podcast dies if
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
can
feeling
imagine so, yeah.
good. There's no episode, so
On the one side, just sniffling consistently and just can't handle
how are you today?
it.
Oh man. All right. Well, I'm gonna ask you, what got you started in YouTube? Why did you want to start a YouTube narration channel, especially so early on?
I man, that's like a weird like story. So like YouTube, very different 10 years ago.
Oh
Okay?
yeah,
Very different place. It's nothing like it looks like right now. Like if you use
absolutely.
like Wayback Machine like right now, you can like, look at it. Um, I wanted to do something, I guess at the time I kind of just wanted to make something because like I was with like this ex-girlfriend at the time who was super into horror stuff. And I was too, and I kind of wanted to do something that like felt like we could both work on it together.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh hey, we both like reading creepypasta stuff. Like at the time, we would like read from creepypasta websites, and I was like, oh, I can try doing a narration thing because like this would be fun, like making a radio show, like I was listening to in college. I was listening to like old radio from like the 1930s and stuff. And I showed it to her, and she's like, "This is terrible. You should really stop doing this." And
What?
so yeah, she did. I mean, to be fair, you can go back and like look at the first couple stories I've done. They're very bad. They're very bad. I was like on this cheap microphone from like Walmart or Best Buy or something. It was like a karaoke microphone. It's really bad. Sounded terrible. I knew nothing about audio cleaning or audio editing, so
uh,
it's just terrible. Um, but she didn't like it at all. But I did a couple more, and like I started seeing like people leaving comments on it, and I was like, oh man, I could probably keep doing this. Like looking back on it, like I realized like not a lot of people are doing like consistent shows like that on
yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, no, it was very
But
different.
that was
People.
not like my thought process at the time. I didn't know or care about that. I was just like, I'm gonna do something that's fun. So I started making videos like that.
Yeah, it was a lot different back then because people didn't do things consistently. They literally just kind of uploaded a video, and they were often different at times.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
you, my man, you started something and you kept up with it, and your channel has grown to
yeah,
an immense size.
I appreciate that. I mean, like I appreciate everybody who watches it, and like and what the channel definitely grew up to is awesome. But there was no way that I thought this was gonna happen, and I kind of got forced like to keep doing YouTube. Even I didn't. I guess I kind of didn't want to. I kind of just wanted to like fiddle with it on the side.
Hmm.
I didn't really want to like do YouTube all the time. Until like I had this really terrible manager at AT&T that kind of forced me out of the company.
Really?
And I was like, well, then screw it. I guess I'm gonna do YouTube. Yeah, there was this really terrible manager. I used to work at AT&T like as technical support over the phone.
Okay.
I did it for like 5 years when I was in college.
Wow.
And then, well, yeah, it was a college job and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And after I graduated, I was like, oh, I guess I'll keep doing this. But then when I got like this new manager, this terrible, terrible person. Like they used to bring us in to do like basically weekly yelling at you meetings.
Really?
We're like, yeah, they just bring you into like a
What?
big room where there's a table and like you're there with all your coworkers, and this manager would be like, okay, here's all the terrible things you've done this week on the phone. Why'd you do that? And then like you're just like there on the spot and everybody's looking at you. It's like, I don't know. Okay, then you shouldn't do that anymore. Yeah, okay.
What?
It was
Okay.
awful. Like it was awful.
That's such a
And then
terrible person. Like, why would
yeah,
they do that?
it sucked. It's a terrible way to do like any kind of company. But then like eventually when I kept talking about like yeah doing YouTube now I'm enjoying doing this on like every time I leave work I can work on my YouTube channel,
Right.
she actually like went to like the higher up, got my contract when I signed at AT&T that said I'm not allowed to work a secondary job. And she's like, you keep talking about this like this is a secondary job, and brought the like higher up manager to talk to me. And like I know this guy, like he's cool. Like I was actually like friends with him and stuff. And he kind of just like I can't like the way that she's reporting it ties my hands. You actually do have to quit doing that thing you enjoy.
What?
And like, or you have to quit here. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? Fuck this place. I'm quitting it. I'm out of here. I don't want to be here anymore.
What? So
Yeah, it
because you did
sucked.
YouTube as like a side thing for fun, they were
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, you got to stop being working here." That's that's actually
it really
terrible.
sucked. Yeah, it really sucked. But I mean, like, it pushed me. I suppose it did push me in a good direction.
Yeah.
But like, still,
Do you make more money now off of YouTube than you were at AT&T?
yeah. I mean, dude, AT&T doesn't pay good.
Really?
That job does not pay good. If you ever like know anybody who does like over the phone support stuff, it pays better than like say like usual fast food like minimum wage jobs,
Right.
but it's not a good paying job by any stretch of the imagination. So it was
So how
like
old were
this
you
is
when you
better.
started YouTube though? I'm
Oh
curious.
God, I would have been 22, 23,
Really?
I think. Yeah, I think I was 22.
And so that means you're
Um,
probably around what, 33 now?
I will be in 10 days.
Wow. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Got anything big planned?
No, I'm gonna be hanging out with my wife and her sister, um, like at our place, because like that's everybody who lives in the house. Like obviously, like I live with my wife, obviously, and then her sister also stays in a room upstairs with us. So we're
Oh,
probably
that's
just
cool.
gonna be going out and I don't know, hitting round one since we were all vaccinated.
Hey, there you go. There you go. You know, you can actually go and have fun without so much worry now that you're vaccinated.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm so happy to be vaccinated now.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to avoid talking about vaccination because it's a very
It's a
touchy
touchy topic.
subject.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think that's I don't think that that's a YouTube friendly topic.
It's really not. But I try to keep freedom on this, but the backlash is can be
Yeah,
kind
it
of
can be.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, it can be.
have you ever experienced something paranormal yourself?
Uh, okay, so
Ooh, we're about to get something good.
no, it's not gonna be something good. I think
Uh,
that's the preparation of the so is because I don't have a very good answer to this.
okay.
I've seen like some paranormal stuff. The same ex that I was talking about before,
Yeah.
was a witch. And she had like stuff that she always used to claim as like haunted or enchanted or things like that, which is neat.
Yeah.
And like I've seen like some things like movements of things, but nothing like exciting. You know, I think everybody was like, yeah, I've seen like the a paranormal experience. You want to talk about seeing ghosts or like seeing Mothman or something. I've never had anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and even now, like working in horror a lot, like you get to know quite a few people that deal with paranormal things.
Hmm.
But fortunately or unfortunately for me, I don't really see it that much.
Really?
Hmm.
It's kind of
That's
weird.
not something that I touch on a lot.
I get that. But you did mention that you saw like little movements of things. What do you mean?
Like there was Enchanted. I think it was like Enchanted or something that she referred to as like the dolls that she has, and they would usually move cabinets whenever people weren't in the room or went looking.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like again, I don't know this for sure. Could be she moves them. I don't know, but as far as I'm concerned, while looking at that,
That's a good point. That's a good point. Um, Now you mentioned you were in college. What did you go to college for?
dude. I went to college for a couple different things. I
Okay.
kept changing my major. Originally, I wanted to be there for game design. I went to college for game design. I couldn't. I hit like my math wall. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I wasn't able to go through that. I tried art for a little bit. Eventually, and like as weird as this is, I settled on business management.
Oh,
Yeah, I settled on business management, which is like easy. I it's not easy, but like I feel like it's just like the most boring of fields, you know?
Uh,
Like game design is like one kind of creative field, art's a different creative field, and I just eventually settled on like the most boring one.
I'm in college for business management, and I can definitely attest to how boring it can be. It is so boring. It is probably the most boring thing to do,
I
honestly.
mean, yeah, yeah.
I can't
It's
lie.
just that's the job like the job market you're looking for is in cubicle, you know? And that's not like an exciting job field. Which I mean it
It's
definitely
not.
works for some people, but it's not I at least in my opinion it doesn't get too exciting.
It really doesn't. I mean, you're gonna end up working in an office or something. You'll be making mad money, but the
Yeah.
work itself is gonna be very repetitive and working with numbers and structure and I mean, you could end up
Yeah.
working as a project manager, but that's a lot of work.
It's the no, it's the structure ones that I feel like that's gonna be where your real boredom comes from, is just like looking at things that are gonna deal just with
Oh yeah.
building. The I think at the end of the like I guess during my AT&T career, if you can call it that, like when I got out of college, really the things I was looking at trying to do was like trying to do like QA, or trying to do like HR stuff.
Okay.
I didn't. The last thing I wanted to do was be like somebody's project manager. I didn't want to like have to. I didn't want to be the person who brings you into the weekly yelling meetings. That would be the worst. But
It
then again,
would be.
I couldn't imagine being like HR. HR seems like such a decently like easy job, but then you're like you also have to be the person who fires people,
It's true.
and I don't know if I could be the person who fires people. That's
It does take a lot of strength because you have to look them dead in the eye and be like, "Look,
okay.
we've
You're
decided that you're not the best fit for our company."
yeah,
You
that's it.
know.
Yeah. Hey man, turns out your paycheck's ending here. Sorry. That's terrifying. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I could fire somebody, but it would not be easy, you know.
now yeah, okay, so continuing the AT&T bad
Mm-hmm.
train. Um so when I quit, there was essentially I went through this whole thing about like, hey, if this is what you guys want, I'm just gonna put in my 2 weeks, and then we went through like this whole snag where I ended up working like 4 or something. But when I got to the end of my actual like my last day there, I went ahead and just applied for like to leave early kind of thing. HR calls me in, and I go through like my whole like exit interview and everything, and I'm about to leave. Turns out like everybody else in this building, and I mean like not everybody else, but like 50% I think is what it is of that building all started getting these stickers on their screens.
Hmm.
All of it was like, hey, come talk to HR real quick. When you get a chance, use this code and come talk to HR. And I didn't know what it was. Everybody assumed it was some kind of like, either like testing thing or something that all the employees had to go through. Turns out it was like, I want to say like mid-November. Like this is like a week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They were like culling out the office. They were just literally fired 50% of the office.
Really?
Yeah, and it was just because like I think like callback like the need of the center was just going down, and like
Ah.
eventually even that center just got closed. But it's just like, man, I that's the part of HR I don't think I could ever do, is the whole like, yeah, so you know how the holidays are coming up, you're fired. That's hard. I
Mm-hmm.
could never in my life imagine that. That's like doing the devil's work.
Pretty much. Having to tell someone when the holidays are coming up. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope you saved up money. Oh, why is that? You're
you're
fired.
fired. Oof.
Oh man.
That's the one I could never do, but that's the job that they have, I guess. Not to mention like when they have to get fired, because I'm pretty sure they had to get called out, half of them too.
Now, I gotta ask you, what was it like to be a part of HorrorCon VR? What was that process like?
Oh, chaos, absolute
Chaos.
chaos. Um, so one, we'd never done a convention before.
Mm-hmm.
Two, we'd absolutely never done a virtual convention before. But like we all had a very strong standing theory of how all these things should work. Um, None of these things, of course, were tested beyond a few conceptual tests.
Hmm.
I've built some virtual reality worlds before, but nothing to that scale.
Oh yeah, I've seen
So,
your virtual reality worlds.
oh, I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself.
I
If
did.
you didn't say if you liked it, but
Seventh heaven, man. The
oh
seven
man,
levels. Oh my
don't go
gosh.
to the seventh circle. That's not a. I'm gonna
That.
remake that because I heard you guys are going there.
Oh man, it's we have
Um,
so much fun. You know, I love shooting researcher in there. That's so fun.
uh, that's okay. I will remake it so that it keeps those, but is a significantly more optimized world. HorrorCon VR was like, we all. So I came up with the idea as a joke. I think in July
Hmm.
or August, and a couple of my friends, who significantly more organized than I am, I think is the real strong point here, is they're actually organized. I have a lot of trouble keeping track of all the different projects I do, but with
Hmm.
other people's help, like I can actually pull things together. So Miss Mad Hat or Sarah is one of the people who like contacted me and was like, "Hey, if you actually want to do that, we can make it happen. Like all you have to do is make it, advertise it, and I'll keep everything else in track." Which is like, okay, if you want to do that, we can do that. So we actually pulled some other people together who were specialized in different things, like getting guests or getting venues and things. Um, with like Meditouring and things. Snarls Barkley from Meditouring was helping us out,
Hmm.
and we did our best to pull something together. Um, the con itself, I think, was a big success. We had a lot of people come. A lot of people seemed to enjoy themselves while they were there. A lot of artist participation too, and even like some of the larger industry guests, which I'm super honored that they wanted to be a part of it. Were there at HorrorCon VR.
Hmm.
We definitely ran into like a lot of different things. I know there was like essentially from was it like 3 p.m. I think is when we started stuff, either noon or 3 p.m. all the way till 3 o'clock in the morning for about 4 or 5 days in a row. I was just glued to my computer, making changes to issues inside of the world or trying to get people organized in calls, trying to host panels.
Right.
And by the end of it, I know like all of us were having drinks at the end of it. And to all the admin, I sent everybody like Papa John's gift cards so we could all have pizza at the same time.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, you know what? We're all having pizza, man. I'm gonna make sure that we all have pizza. And we just like this is a celebratory pizza party, and we all had pizza, which is dumb because like even like some of my friends are in Canada who are working on it, and they're like, I can't order that. We don't have that here. Um,
So what did you do to make
but
that work?
oh God, we didn't. Like I ended up sending them. I ended up sending them like gift cards anyway, and they're just like, I'm just gonna give this away, but I'll get pizza from somewhere local. Um, but they're all really cool, and everybody was had a good time, and we all agreed basically. I think we had a wrap up meeting on it 2 weeks afterward, and we're like, okay, so what do we do for next year? And that was kind of like, okay, so I don't think we mentioned this anywhere else except for like the websites, but we had planned for a HorrorCon VR 2021 already, HorrorCon VR 2, in like in by December, I think. We were already like, okay, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do it. That's it. Let's go. Um, so we have stuff going. We already have like some stuff underway, trying to build it or plan for it. Um, I'm just I'm just eager to see how far this goes or where this goes. I want to see this. I want to see this grow big. You know.
Yeah. Well, you know, man, you did it. You did it. Like,
I appreciate it. Like we got to make it better. I think is really it. Now that
hmm.
we have things planned, now's time to make it better.
So are you gonna make like a whole new world, or are you just gonna expand on the one that's already made?
Oh yeah. Um, I'll give you the inside info. This is the inside info that other people don't know about. Okay.
Well, it gives
Um,
people a reason to watch this.
yeah, man. So one of the cool things is, yeah, we're making a brand new world for it. Each year we kind of wanna we've been making plans, honestly, to make new worlds for it, and we kind of want to make a story that kind of gets told throughout these worlds. So
Ooh.
if you guys have, I know you've been hanging out. You came to one of the HorrorCon meetups,
Yeah.
actually, and well, the one place we meet up is at the HX HQ,
Yep.
which is that large library and bar that has some strange that kind of has some like strange little things in there. All these will lead over to um, one big idea that we're kind of feeding into. So if you haven't checked it out, you check it out. It's got some other small call tos that we'll eventually get to.
Well, I have found like the hidden books and gone to the hidden
There's a
areas.
few. Yep, there's a few hidden books. There's a few hidden items around there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like within reach, right?
some. Yeah,
So,
like
oh, I'm definitely gonna have to go explore the world tonight. uh, it's just always so hard to see because the world is so dark, and you have to carry that
oh, I
lantern
know.
around. Uh,
Yeah, you gotta have the candle.
you do, you do. But man, I love that world. I loaded in there one day with the siren head skin on, and I was so tall, and I'm like
Yeah.
looking around, I can't see anything, and I'm like, wait, I think I have the wrong skin on because I'm as tall as the third story in that building, and I'm like, oh geez, oh this is kind of trippy, but I wonder what's up here.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's right. Yeah, you would have been tall enough to actually see some new stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and well, it's kind of exciting that you guys are gonna make a whole new big world for this next HorrorCon VR. Any guests we can look forward to?
Oh, we haven't confirmed anything yet. So at the moment, I don't have any answers for you. But hopefully, we'll have some new folks there for everybody to be excited about.
I mean, I'm already excited. I'm already excited. Um, boy, I think it's gonna be so fun. This will be my first one, because I didn't even know this thing existed till the beginning of this month. I'm not even gonna lie, and it's only because a researcher, Midnight, he told me about it. He's like, hey, you should check this out. It might even help your channel. And I'm like, okay, I'll check out something new. And then that's what led me
Well,
here to you, my man.
nice. Well, hey, I'm glad that I got a chance to meet you, just so we can be able to do an interview like this.
I mean, this is more podcast, but yeah,
Podcast, interview.
interview.
Oh, same thing, same difference.
Oh man, but I really am super appreciative of you taking the time to do this because I know you're a
Oh, dude,
busy
yeah.
man.
No worries.
So do you have
I'm happy to be
anything?
on.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. We're talking like the same time. Um, it's so funny. We think the same way. Do you have anything big coming up on your channel that we could all look forward to?
I do. I guess,
Ooh.
Isaac would actually want me to talk about this. Isaac, I'm not going to say his name right, and I know he's going to hear this and then be like, I heard. I believe it is Bassano. Isaac Bassano, author of The Horror from the Vault. Um,
Ooh.
it's a fantastic series. If you've seen it on the channel, I don't know if you have or not. Um, Isaac Bossino does The Horror from the Vault. He's written a couple of other stories as well, but I think that series is probably one of the more popular ones. Features some amazing voice talent. We got Caleb Hyles on the series before. We had Corpse Husband on the series before. All like really, really great voices. And he just gave me a new episode for the horror from the vault. So
Ooh.
that is one thing I'm currently casting. I don't have any recordings for it yet, but I am currently casting for it. So we'll see. We'll see if everybody find if you, when that's going to come out. But soon is the answer. At some point soon.
Ooh. I'm excited, my man.
It's really good. If you haven't seen the first couple of episodes, like go check them out. They are really cool.
So I gotta ask, what is life like for you on a daily basis? 'Cause, you have many fans, but as someone who's watched your channel grow, there's not much known about you beyond you calling yourself Spike and that you're a major YouTuber, and now we know you went to college for business and worked at AT&T. Well, what is life like for you on a daily basis?
Oh man, it's boring.
Come on, it's
Yeah,
never
I guess you
boring.
find out. No, trust me. You find out more about me from like my Twitter, I feel, than you'd
Hmm.
find out like anywhere on my YouTube. But honestly, I don't do that much. I do recording for these things, and I do virtual reality. Otherwise, like my life here is usually just spending time with my wife and my cats. I got two cats, Hercules and Hylas, and I
Ooh.
have post pictures of them all the time on my Twitter.
Yes, I have seen those.
Yeah. Otherwise, like
Cute
I
cats.
don't. Yeah, I mean, I love my boys. My boys are like super sweet boys, except when they're not. And
Except when
like, yeah, because like Hylas is the orange one. He can be like a jerk consistently, and Hercules is a very what's the word? Anxious, little nervous boy all the time. So,
really.
oh yeah, no, he like right now it's thunderstorming out, and
Ooh.
so I'm relatively certain the thunder has been too loud for him, so he's gotten scared and gone to go hide under the bed in my bedroom. That's what he always does. He's a sweet boy. He's a very, very sweet boy, but he's very nervous all the time, so he's running, hides underneath the bed. Hylas, even though he's younger, Hylas is 2, Hercules is 5. He doesn't care about anything. He just he's not scared. He will be a jerk. He will jump up on things. He's a troublemaker.
He's a
That
troublemaker.
otherwise, like, don't let me talk about my cats, man. That's all I'm going to talk about.
Oh boy, I have two cats myself, and
Oh, really?
yes, we have Valkyrie, and we have Misty. Now, Valkyrie was given to me, I think oh boy, I'm trying to think of a way to say this. A few years ago, before some stuff hit the fan. But
Yeah.
we've had her. My wife and I have had her for I think almost 2 years now. Three maybe. It's been two, about two. Yeah. Um, and we got her as a baby, like a little baby,
Oh.
and she was the cutest. Like she would sleep with the dog I used to have. And she would cuddle up with it at night, try to play with it during the day, and then at night, if the dog was not in the bed, she would come up to the pillows and sleep right in between both my wife. Well, she's my girlfriend at the time, but my wife and I, and she'd just sleep right in the middle of us on the pillow and cuddle up to our heads. Now, she is a big cat because we got her fixed, and she does not have the energy she used to have, and she is a big old girl, and she's a scaredy cat. Like when someone comes to the door and knocks, she runs into the bedroom under the covers and goes to sleep.
Oh.
And then Misty was originally my blood brother's kitten, but my brother, he's very focused on other things, and he was in ways neglectful, not intentionally, but he's just never really been good at the dividing time thing. And well, I went over there one day to his house, him and my mom's, and she was not doing so well, and I noticed the condition. And I was like, "Look, John, I will take her in and give her a good life because you're too busy to be able to take care of her like you need to be. Um, and I think she'll do great with Valkyrie." So he said yes, and we took her in, and since then, she's been a great cat. She's very anxious. She likes to hide a lot of
Yeah.
the time. Very skittish, but she is so loving. And as soon as you pet her, you hear meow. She's the cutest thing in the world. But funny enough, they become very close. Considering they're
That's
both
good.
females, and they're really like sisters. They cuddle up with each other, and they'll do sisterly things. They don't separate themselves much from each other, which is nice because a lot of cats will do that, especially if they're the
Yeah.
same sex.
Yeah, Hercules and Hylas both separate themselves up a lot. I think also because Hylas, ever since he was younger, kind of, well, ever since he was a kitten, he likes to play like far rougher than Hercules wants to play.
Uh,
So now he's like, he's not about it.
he's just not
Every
about it.
time he will jump, yeah, every time he'll jump up onto him and like try biting him, like Herc just instantly goes hiss mode and pushes him off.
Oh,
He's not a
okay.
happy boy about it. Like the thing is, he's not gonna fight him,
Hmm.
but at the same time, he's gonna hiss about it. He's gonna be incredibly loud and hissy. But yeah,
So he gets more pissy about being played with than actually playing.
oh yeah, absolutely. He
Ah,
does not like the play like that. Even still, like Herc likes to play like some things, but he's not a super cuddly cat. Oh well, he's not a super cuddly cat on when you want to be. Well, as soon as like we're asleep, he jumps up like on us, and then like he'll like cuddle up. But if we're like sitting down, or you want to reach over to him and give him pets and stuff like that, he will. He's not about it. Like he likes getting scratches and stuff, but only for a little bit, and he doesn't want anymore. But then when you're asleep, he's like, okay, I want to lay all over you.
You know, we gotta talk about something. Well, we got two cat men in the house. How
Yeah.
amazing is it that cats decided that we bred cats to, be able to come into any situation and take over. Like, if a cat walks into your house and it's a stray, but it's healthy enough for you to take in, and it
It will
decides it
just.
wants to stay there, we just automatically conform to it.
That's true.
That is
Yeah.
such that is such an amazing evolutionary trait for survival.
It's just they're too cute, man.
They are.
Cats are just too cute. Like the both of my cats are strays, technically. Actually, no, both of them are strays. There
Okay.
were I found both of them at like what's that, 6 weeks ish. Both obviously years apart, but that's around the time when they found them, both covered in fleas, little flea bags. But because it's just so darn cute, like you run into them, they end up being here like in like my house, and it's like, okay, you have fleas, you've brought fleas into my home. I have to help you. I need to go take you to the vet. When we first found Hylas too, it was like, okay, you have fleas, you have eye infections, you're not okay, you have all these mites going in and out of your ears.
Oh, jeez.
Take you to the vet. Like getting to the vet is like it's gonna be like what is it, $178. It's not your cat.
Wow.
Yeah, but like yeah, take care of the cat, please. So then
Well,
he ends up being our cat.
you did an amazing thing, though.
Yeah.
You did.
He's a jerk. He's a jerk now. I love him.
He's a lovable jerk.
Yeah.
He's a lovable jerk. He has his limits, which is kind of cute that a cat has like. I love that
Yeah.
cats have limits and they are not afraid to tell you.
Yes, absolutely.
Have you ever considered getting a dog?
Not really. My mom has a dog,
Mm.
and I do love her dog, but not really. Because me and my wife, I guess we don't obviously we can't anymore, but we used to travel a lot, either for conventions or just because we like taking trips together. Um, we always mention how nice it was to have cats at home because like if we're gonna go for like 3 days. We can put out food for the cats for that amount of time. We put out water for the cats for that amount of time and
Hmm.
change out their litter box, and they're fine by themselves for 3 days.
Right.
Like, mind you, they're bored, but like they have each other here to
Right.
mess around with, so they're okay. If you have a dog, you can't really do that.
It's
Like the
true.
dog needs to go out all the time and things like that. Like there's not a way to just to have a dog at home.
Yeah.
So I don't think we ever really even considered getting a dog, but I do like dogs. My mom's dog's super sweet.
I do I can understand that because I'm much the same way. Like, my wife and I don't travel much, but the off moments that we do, we don't want to have to worry about what's at home. So all we have to do is just put the food down, put the water down, clean the litter box, and they're fine. You know.
Yeah.
But with a dog, that's not possible. And we have a kid. We have a
Oh,
kid.
really?
Yes, he's almost 10 months old. He'll be 10 months in
Yo,
5 days.
con congratulations.
Thank you.
I didn't this new baby.
Yes, he's a new baby, and he is a very advanced baby. Um, he's already doing pull-ups.
What?
Yes,
Strong baby. You have like tiny Hulk Hogan.
yes, he's a very strong little baby. He can walk. Here's the funny thing: he can walk, but he prefers to crawl.
That's yeah, I feel that.
He prefers to crawl because it's just I don't know, maybe it's just what he's more used to. But he can walk, and we've seen him walk on his own. But he just prefers to crawl. And I saw him push a box up against another box that was taller, so he could climb up to the taller box.
That's it's adorable, man.
It is.
Having kids has got to be wonderful. Yeah.
It is. It's a lot though.
It's a I did like a terrifying experience. Here's like I have a small I have a smaller human that I take care of.
It's an experience. I'm not gonna lie. And one thing I've already learned is that kids teach you more about yourself than you will ever teach a kid.
Really?
And
Really?
yes, it's very self-reflective because then you stop thinking about what can I do for my wife and I, and you start thinking about, well, what can I do to support my family and my son, and
That's fair.
um, watching them grow is beautiful, but they have their moments. Like our son's been sleeping through the night since he was a month old, which is very rare in babies,
Mhm.
and he's teething now. He's got two teeth fully grown out, and he's got two more on the top. His two front teeth are both coming in. Both have broken through the gum. But with that means he's also going to bed later, and sometimes he wakes up at like 12 o'clock, midnight, crying for attention because he's in pain. And that's about when we're going to bed, because
Yeah.
I got school, and I got work, and I got my daily responsibilities, and I got my YouTube, and I need my sleep. I need my
Yeah.
sleep. And we're laying in bed. All of a sudden we hear, ah. It's a lot, man. And they're a handful.
Yeah?
It's constant attention. If you want to focus on a video game, nah, say goodbye. Just sell your system. You're not gonna find time.
Oh man.
You're
You're
not gonna find time.
making me terrified of when I have kids, man.
I think I'm also young though. I'm only 25.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm a pretty young father. My wife is
Yeah.
27. I'll be 26, so we're only a year apart. But she already had her birthday. She's 27. My birthday's in November, and you know, I was 24 when she got like closer to 25 when she got pregnant, and he was planned though. I gotta put this
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there.
I
It
feel you.
wasn't an accident. It was planned. Um, but I'll tell you, even with the hundreds of books I read on raising children, when you're actually raising a child, it is so different.
I've actually every one of my friends who is a parent has told me the same things.
It's
It's
true.
always been like, yeah, when I think the most common thing I've always heard is you're just no matter what you've done, no matter what you've planned for, you saved for, you read for, you've learned for, you're not really like ever ready to be like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to have a kid. And as soon as you have your kid, you're like, oh man, no, no, I wasn't. I'm not ready for it yet. But I'm still gonna be learning by doing.
It's true. It's so true. Like that's the best way to put it. No matter what you've done to prepare yourself mentally, physically, anything. When that baby's out and it's roaming, that's when you realize, oh fuck, I was not as ready as I thought. But the reason why my wife and I plan to have one so early, well, I would say between you and I, but this is going to be very public,
Well, yeah.
is because I don't have a long life expectancy, and
Oh shit.
yeah, I mean my parents are well into their 40s. My grandparents usually last until their 50s, 60s, but my grandfather's I think almost in his 70s now. But I have asthma amongst other health problems,
Mm.
and not bad, not like asthma. We're talking about like chronic asthma. I'm not supposed to exercise. I'm not supposed to drink. I'm not supposed to
Oh
smoke.
really?
I'm not supposed to be around heavy perfumes. I'm not supposed to be around really anything because it's
Oh my God,
just
heavy perfumes. That sounds like that's a serious asthma then.
yeah. No, it's really bad. Um, and I'm on some strong meds to just kind of keep it like normal. Keep me breathing on a daily basis. Like
Yeah.
it's to the point where sometimes if I don't take medicine and I try to sleep, I'll wake up having an asthma attack because I stop
Oh
breathing in my sleep.
jeez.
Yeah, it's that bad. Um, so I wanted to have a kid when I was young enough to, where if I'm in my 40s and I'm starting to go downhill, I'll at least be able to enjoy some time with him in a healthier
Yeah.
way where I can still kind of go and do some things. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
but, I'll tell you though, man, having kids is a great thing, but it's not an easy thing.
Yeah. No, there's at no point has any parent I've ever spoken to told me it's an easy. Yeah, easy, easy.
No.
Could have done it in my sleep. Nobody's ever told me that.
um, the only parents that probably think it's easy are the parents who don't have to be around or aren't.
Oh
I bet
man.
if my dad, if you asked my dad if having a kid was easy, he would tell you, yeah, it was easy because I was never around.
Oh shit.
Yes, but I gotta ask you,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, aliens.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What do I think? Do I think aliens are real, or what
Yes.
is the question specifically about aliens?
What is your opinion on the reality of aliens?
I mean, yeah, aliens have to be real. There's no way that like that comes down to that whole thought that the universe itself is so vast that it's impossible for there not to be alien life out there. Like it's not possible that there's only one single planet in the entirety of the universe that like has life on it. Now, if you're trying to say like, are aliens like, are aliens like super futuristic? Are the aliens like in Star Wars? Probably not. I don't think there's like a Star Wars aliens thing that's out there who've like developed like light speed travel or what have you. But
So you don't believe in aliens from a galaxy far, far away?
yeah, I do believe in aliens in a galaxy far, far away. I just don't believe in aliens in a galaxy far, far away coming here.
So you don't think they made contact?
No, I don't think that we've had like aliens visit this planet. Or if we have, it would probably be unintentionally alien microbe
Mm-hmm.
via via asteroid. It was
Yeah.
not like a interstellar spacecraft with the ability to teleport and abduct cattle from cornfields. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see. I've always kind of stayed in the how can I say? In my professional opinion, I stay in the optimization of. I believe in the possibility of anything unless proven absolutely otherwise.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, I don't disbelieve in aliens, but I don't necessarily believe either. We do see evidence that there could be aliens. I mean, and some common sense will tell you there's got to be something else.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
that's exactly where I'm at. I don't. I absolutely believe that there's aliens. I just don't believe that they're here.
the only thing that questions me on if we've had contact are UFOs because I mean we've been seeing them. I mean humans have been seeing them since 17, 16, 1500s. We have it on record that they've been seeing these things for 500 years.
Yeah.
At least, and that makes me wonder because UFOs did not go away. We've been seeing them for 500 years. We even see them now, and you know, I don't know if you ever caught the press conference last year, but the U.S. Navy came out and said UFOs are real, and that
Yeah.
they don't know who's piloting them because if any human was to get into one of those, the aerial abilities would destroy us. We,
Yeah. I've heard about it, some of those things like that.
yeah,
But I mean, like UFOs, meaning unidentified flying objects are
right,
real.
yes,
So like, not necessarily saying there's like, say like a flying saucer.
no, 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 that's what they were saying.
But
Yeah,
flying saucers specifically are real?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what they're referring to. UFOs as like these flying saucers we've been seeing for hundreds of years are real, and they said that they don't know who's piloting them. All they do know is that they have capabilities beyond our earthly and human understanding. That they can perform aerial maneuvers that none of our machinery could do, and they do know that they're not from Earth.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not hear that much. I knew about talking about UFOs. Like that UFOs are real was definitely a it was one thing that were talked about, as well as like they revealed like a couple of videos or released a couple of videos that were like of UFOs, but there was never like, I mean there was definitely some that like are questionable, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them are just kind of like specs on a system. And they're, that you can't identify. I never really heard them saying like specifically like, yeah, like we are unidentified spacecraft. He was like, oh shit, that's different.
Yeah, yeah,
That
no.
changes things a lot.
I actually just sent you the
This video,
video.
yes, I've seen this video.
Yeah. So they came out and they said that that was of one of the UFOs, and the on the Joe Rogan podcast, he actually had the pilot who made that video on his podcast, right?
Oh yeah.
And the pilot was saying how this thing was like in the shape of a pill, like a giant pill, and it would shoot up, straight up, uh, directly straight up at speeds that were beyond human comprehension. Just it would like the blink of an eye. It'd be from like right above the water to where it would ripple on the water, but the water wouldn't ripple, even though it'd be like right on top of it. And then it would shoot up to, like you said, multi thousands of feet in an instant. And then all of a sudden it would just shoot in one direction at a speed that they could not even watch because it would just be here, or it would be right where they saw it, and then suddenly over there. And then it would
Really?
come back. And they were told not to attack it because they didn't know what it was. And apparently it just kind of like submerged itself and then just shot straight up out, right out into the
Wild.
atmosphere.
That's wild. Okay. You're telling me a lot more than I knew about before.
Mm-hmm.
Still, doesn't change my opinion. However,
No, I'm
more than
not.
I knew
I'm
about
not
before.
telling you to change your opinion. I'm just telling you, like,
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if it's
know.
aliens that are driving it. It could very well be humans, but
Yeah, it's just strange. This
it
is not
is
seems like something that should exist.
not yet, at least.
Yeah.
That kind of technology is not for another 150 years.
Yeah.
That's like our kids' grandkids, or our kids' kids
That's
even.
wild though.
It is. It's crazy, man, and that just goes to show that there's still so much we don't know.
Yeah. For real. For
Now,
real.
do you believe in cryptids?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of cryptid things that I definitely kind of believe in. I'm more likely to believe in things that exist on Earth than I would other things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like you want to say like there's like talking about the existence of UFOs for however many centuries at this point. It's the same thing when it comes down to cryptids. It's all
Hmm.
descriptions of them having existed for centuries.
Yeah. I when it comes to the talk of cryptids, I think some are more reasonable and likely to be real than others.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like, definitely. Like, I don't believe in the Loveland frog, but
What
like,
cryptids do you specifically believe in? That
uh,
could actually exist.
they would definitely be like Yetis and probably like Sasquatch kind of sightings. I believe there's probably something there, especially like sea creatures, sea monsters, or ones that would. I mean, that goes into my own personal like phobias at this point. But yeah, I would believe that there'd be like a sea monster or sea creatures, Loch Ness monsters kind of things. Those would be ones I would absolutely believe in. Ever since like any civilization has gone sailing, there's always been talks about seeing things that are larger than reality, things that are smarter than they should be in the water, and that like oof, it's terrifying to me.
Yeah, I can agree. Like I think because the ocean is still so unexplored, and it was only
hmm
a few years ago that we discovered the colossal octopus or
Yeah,
squid, whichever
yeah.
one it is. And that thing is like 200 feet long, like
And
200
there's
feet
so
long.
little we know about our own oceans, dude. There's
Yeah.
so little of it's explored.
I can't remember the name of the creature, but it's said to live in like the Antarctic waters. I think it's based off like more Japanese myth, but it's like this white water creature. I think it starts with an N, but I can't really remember. But something like that seems much more believable than something, I don't know. For
Jersey
example,
Devil.
yeah, Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil, that whole story is just kind of out there, man.
I think I was doing there was this idea I had for doing like a kid's book on cryptids
Really?
before. Yeah, I do I like dabble around with like some weird shit sometimes, but like kids book on cryptids was one thing I was looking at doing. And I was looking up some like accounts on the Jersey Devil because that feels like one of the great American cryptid, you know. Usually if you ask people about them, they know like Bigfoot, Jersey Devil, like, Champ.
Hmm.
Um but the Jersey Devil like is so weird.
It
Like
is. It is.
it's so weird. The like they talk about it being anywhere from like 2.5 feet to like 8 feet tall.
Yes.
A guy claims that like it came down his chimney, destroyed his basement, and then left up the chimney again. It's such like those are like the strangest. Like, oh, I don't know what it was. It had to be the Jersey Devil answers for me.
Yeah. I
The
think one of the weirdest things also is that this woman is said to have given birth to her 13th child, which is not out of the ordinary. But
Mm.
just the fact that this one child was cursed by the devil because some farmer made a witch mat or something like that. I can't really remember the exact details. But this woman gave birth to a devil child, and then it just kind of suddenly grew wings and flew out the window.
Well, yeah, so out the window.
Yeah, okay, sure. That's
It's such a strain. That feels like the most urban of urban legends.
yes, it's so urban legend. There cannot be like any realisticness to that story from beginning to end. I mean, unless somebody
I
got a picture.
majority of things that like have talked that I've seen online, at least reading accounts and stuff, it really does make it feel like it's just like a rabid raccoon or something
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
that's caused most of them. I think it's neat. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely still love the Jersey Devil. I
Oh
love
yeah.
the Mothman and things like that. But like, there's a lot of things about them that ends up being hard to disprove. There was I did this series on the channel, I believe, called Cryptozoology,
I remember.
and it was read by it was written by T.W. Grimm, and I thought it was great. It was like these like interesting like essay looks at different cryptozoological creatures. I even think I have some more in there, but people just did not dig the story of the Mothman, particularly because like T.W. Grimm's like a great author. Like he's really good,
Hmm.
and when it comes down to doing his research, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's writing. Um, and one of the things he found when it was going through the history of the Mothman is you can actually pinpoint the exact moment when the Mothman legend is made up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So he included that in the thing,
Hmm.
and not a lot of people liked that. So it was hard. That was hard to go through, but you know, he definitely
Knew his stuff when he wrote it.
he definitely knew his stuff, and when you're reading through it, it's plain as day. Like you can
Yeah.
see the point where like these stories came up with a better story about the Mothman and became a Mothman book. But I
Mm.
still love the Mothman. Don't get me wrong. When it comes down to cryptids, he's one of the most well known. He's great.
The one thing that trips me up about the Mothman story is that even though we know it's you know, more of a made up tale, even with photographic evidence, there's still like not it's not great photographic evidence. But the one thing that trips me up is that the FBI has gotten involved in keeping people quiet about it, which is
Hmm.
which is kind of the weird thing to me. Because I don't necessarily believe in the Mothman. I think it's a great urban legend. It's a great modern day almost urban legend. But I don't understand, like, unless the government was hiding something around the time the Silver Bridge collapsed, why would they be going around telling people to hush up about the Mothman legend?
You know, I don't know.
That's the one thing that trips me up about it. Because, like I said, I believe in the possibility of anything unless there's absolute proof. It can't be real. And I remember your video on the Mothman. And the author T.W. Grimm, he definitely brought to light when it was made up, which is great because that shows that, you know, it likely did not actually exist. Even with the photographic evidence, that
Well, I
still could
mean,
have been photoshopped.
see, this is one of the big things. This is even that thing that they were talking about when it comes down to like UFOs was the it might not necessarily be what we think it is.
Right.
Um, Sometimes UFO things can't be like information about them can't be released, and it doesn't necessarily be because like this is proof of aliens. It could
Right.
just be because like the camera used to capture it is currently like this is a classified kind of information. It just can't be talked about.
Right.
And that's why like this has to be kept secret, or this can't be leaked, is because this kind of technology is not meant to be to be shared yet. Um, and honestly, that could be the same thing when we're talking about we're talking about like the Mothman. Maybe it might not be the Mothman. Hey, it could be something else that we're not supposed to
Know about.
know about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
and
knows, man? Who
yeah,
knows? I'm not the
I mean,
FBI.
right. But you know, when you look at the fact that the government had like a testing site nearby and that they had explosive warehouses there, who's to say they weren't hiding something very top secret at the time there? And the reason why they don't want people talking about the Mothman legend is because it brings attention to the overall town and possibly these sites, you know, and what they could have been hiding there. So when I think about the FBI showing up to keep people quiet, I don't think it has to do with the Mothman, you know, urban legend. I think it has to do with the government possibly hiding something around the time the bridge collapsed. And by talking about Mothman, it brings people there that don't need to be there snooping around, especially at these old testing sites.
Yeah.
Now,
Could be, yeah.
now Bigfoot. What do you think on Bigfoot?
Man. Bigfoot's a strange one.
It is.
Uh,
It is. That's why I had to bring it up.
I would like to believe in the Bigfoot. In fact, you know, I did say like when it comes down to like Yetis and stuff, that's a thing that I believe is probably real. Um,
I believe the Yeti could
I,
be
I'd
real,
I'd
but
feel like there's got to be some level of truth to Bigfoot.
I think so too. The only problem I have is this. Even with all the deforestation and you know everything else that we've been doing in our world and with our current technology, how come we haven't found like any good video proof, you know, of a straight up Bigfoot? Because I mean, we have these TV shows about people going out trying to find this thing and hunting this thing, actively hunting these things, and yet we still haven't found anything.
And that could be said like for just about everything, you know. We have so much like growth in technology, we should be able to get proof of literally anything, and yet we still find
That's true.
new species of animal, of insect, of
That's true.
fish for like, these are all we will find them every year, every couple of months.
Hmm.
So, I mean, sometimes they just don't make themselves known, or they've lived so long by avoiding human contact that that is just going to be what they continue to do. And I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I
Hmm.
would very hardly put myself as an expert when it comes down to horror stories. But still,
I think I think any kind of creature that lives in the deep sea is really it has a high chance of being believable because we don't know much about the ocean. We know the deepest part of the ocean and how deep it goes, but we haven't discovered all of our oceans. Like
yeah.
it's only we still haven't discovered what's it like 95%,
Yeah, it's
93%.
it's some like incredibly huge number. I know
Yeah,
that.
because the ocean is so vast and so deep and so, you know, hard to explore in different areas.
That was that thing. We know more about space than we know about our own oceans because
Yeah.
yeah, the pressure becomes way too high. It's
Mhm.
impossible for us to be able to explore it.
Exactly. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Um and that opens up the fact that there could be an innumerable amount of creatures we haven't discovered. You know, it was only 2001 when we
Like I
discovered the
said,
colossal squid, you know, and
believe in sea monsters. That's truth.
yes.
That's for real.
I believe I believe it when a sailor comes back and says we encountered this massive creature that was able to bring his tentacles up to the board of the ship. Than I do someone who's like, "Oh yeah, I saw you know a Mothman the other day." You know what I mean? Like we're talking about a fisherman who's out on the ocean. What 300 out of 365 days a year? You know what I mean? Then someone who just randomly goes out occasionally and all of a sudden discovers this.
Yeah, like expedition
Yeah,
searches.
yeah.
No, that would be like like how there's different ways looking at space. We have different telescopes pointing in different
Hmm.
directions. That would be an interesting way of like actually monitoring the ocean, but how are you supposed to monitor that much, you know?
Yes,
It's just the same thing in space, but like you can have something actually like angled there to look. Who knows,
right.
man? Who
And there's
knows?
still so much we don't know about the ocean. We have a basic idea of how riptides work and how different waves work and what it's like under the surface. We know how dark it gets in the ocean, but when it comes down to it, we still haven't fully explored it for a reason because there's still so much we don't know and we can't
Yeah.
do. You know,
That no, that's exactly it. Yeah, we don't know what we can do, and like it would be foolish to try to do more than you can and end up getting yourself killed for it.
exactly. And like you said, the pressure. There's so many things to consider. The pressure, the deoxidization of the human
God, yeah,
lungs. Um, gosh, there's so much standing in our way of being able to fully explore the ocean.
that's why I say we just drain all ocean. Not.
What? Drain all? Where are we supposed to drain it? That's a pretty big pipeline to space,
Yeah,
dude. That would be
just say,
noticed.
easy. We send all the water to the moon. I mean, it'd be
I think we have
terrible.
more water on Earth than there is space on the moon, though.
I agree. Oh, yeah, I've seen some of those. Like you could probably Google search it right now. Like one of those like the Earth's moon, like what it looks like if it collided with like the ocean, like how much actual surface area the moon has is minuscule compared to.
Yes. Well, the moon
Yeah.
is relatively small in
Yeah.
comparison to the
To
Earth.
compared to the size of the Earth, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I think what is it like 1,000 or something moons could fit inside Earth.
I don't think it's that. It couldn't be that much. Is it?
I think so. I'll double check here real quick while we talk, because I am
This
now
is
actually interesting. But let's
it
see,
can't be. No,
how
I
many
could say you could probably fit.
moons can fit in the Earth?
Yeah, the moon is a bit more than one-fourth the size of the
Okay,
Earth.
never mind. I was wrong. It's like
You
50
fit
moons.
four.
It's
You fit four moons.
no 50 moons.
27%.
By I guess by diameter and size, we could fit 50 moons inside of the Earth.
No way.
Yes. If the Earth were
No
hollow,
way.
about 50 moons would fit inside.
My eyes lie to me. Doesn't look like it.
Well, I
Pop
mean,
open, pop open VR right now. We'll hop into that universe game. Try to fit 50 moons.
that'd be so like I'd have to like move all my recording equipment here and like put it to screen and everything else just to
So
see if
you,
we can fit 50 moons,
yeah,
and then we end up
you're in full
spending three
VR, right?
hours.
Or were you on desktop when we were playing in VR
I
chat?
play on desktop. I can't.
Play on desktop.
I don't want to pay for a VR headset.
Oh, man, it's so cheap right now. It's so cheap right now.
But I get extreme motion sickness. I'm worried that I wouldn't even be able to use it.
No, dude, you'd be surprised. You can actually help train yourself out of motion sickness.
What?
Yeah. My wife also has really bad motion sickness. The more she plays VR, she actually overcomes a lot of the motion sickness. But of course, the more she stays time away from VR, the motion sickness comes back. You'd
What?
be really surprised, dude.
Nah.
Yeah,
Really?
you could train yourself out of the motion sickness.
Bro, I can't even go on a roller coaster.
Yeah, wow, really? That's pretty harsh.
Yeah, I can't even go on a roller coaster. I
I get
sometimes driving
so
my own car gets me motion sick.
hot damn.
Yeah. It's
You need to take some.
Dramamine.
Yeah.
When I take Dramamine, I have to take like double the regular dose.
Really?
Yes.
God.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's why I'm like very hesitant. I mean, you would be too. I mean, I think
Uh,
anybody in my shoes
yeah.
would be like, do I want to spend the 300 on something I possibly can't use?
Yeah.
You know? But I think it'd be fun to try. I'm not gonna. I will try it eventually. And I think VR chat would be a good way too, because it's not like,
Yeah, that's a very chill game.
yeah, it's not like constant movement or anything that I'd be facing. I would be facing it when I walk in the game and when I look around, but I think I'd be okay. I just need to
Yeah.
put the money down that I don't
Yeah.
have.
It's it is difficult to find that kind of money. Um
It is.
I feel like it's honestly I feel like virtual reality is worth it. Virtual reality is the future, man.
It
That's
is.
where all games are going to be one day.
That's true. That's true. Give it another 50 years. maybe
I would
75.
not even,
You don't think
not
so?
even. You give it another 10. Okay, so like let's say real quick, okay? The year is currently 2022. In the year 2011, where was VR at?
I think it was just getting started, right?
I don't even think it was getting started yet.
No, no, I don't even think it was a
I feel like
possibility.
yeah, it was. I mean, it was definitely a possibility, but like mine, at least in 2011, I want to say my knowledge of the VR headset ended at the Nintendo Virtual Boy.
Yes, yeah, that's true. They did start it with the Virtual Boy, but it made
Yeah,
people really sick.
he made people really sick. It was tube televisions, I believe, that was using it, so it was very unhealthy for your eyes.
Yes.
Um, it was just in general like this is not something that we can feasibly do. And like trying to think about having room scale VR where you can walk around your room, it can track your hands, it can track your fingers, it can
Hmm.
track like you can get sensors to track your legs and your hips. Logging into a virtual space unheard of. But in 10 years, it's become a point where now this is something that I do on a daily basis. Not just that,
That's a
but
good point.
millions of other people do as well.
That's a good point. I think like yeah, I think with that kind of math, maybe 10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
I feel like 10 years.
You
That was
know?
a friend of mine was saying like to just take a second and appreciate the things you do. Like take a look around your like technology space like right now. Like we're both at desks right now with your computers and recording equipment and what have you. And just take a look and appreciate what you actually have when it comes down to the advancement of technology literally in the last 10 years. It's
That's a good point.
crazy, you
That's
know?
a good point because you bring any of this stuff to someone in the 70s and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, well, yeah, and the 70s was at this point 50 years ago.
Yeah,
Am I right? 50
yeah,
years ago, yeah. That's a half a century ago.
it's true. Which is kind of
Like,
crazy when you think about it, because
yeah,
I
the
was born in the
70s.
'90s. You were born in the '80s.
Yeah, I was born in 1988. It's crazy to think how far we've gotten.
You were '88.
Yeah, I was 88.
Oh, I was '95.
Yeah,
Just the turn of the
it's
century.
insane to think about it,
It
like
is.
how far we've gotten.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. Like a friend of mine, Trailer Drake or Comic Drake,
Hmm.
was making a post on Facebook the other day. Where he's like, just appreciate how far you've gotten. And I was like, yeah, I literally strap a piece of technology to my eyes and go inside the computer and hang out with my friend in England. Like that's crazy.
That is. It is, and that's a good point. That's a good point. And it's crazy how fast technology can move like that.
Yeah, it is.
Now,
Like cell phones were not a thing when I was a kid.
yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, like we just barely had cell phones. Like they were starting to become these smaller devices, but they were still very limited. We had CD, we had portable tape players turning into CD players,
Yeah,
and
yep, yep.
like the very start of DVDs, and
Yeah,
we were moving
I was
on. Like tape recorder tapes, VHS tapes were still a very common thing, and DVDs were still more the higher priced items. And
no, I
now
agree.
now we don't even
I
need
was with
DVDs.
I was with my mom in Taiwan at some point when I was a kid, and I remember them showing us DVDs for the first time. And it seemed so weird and wild about it because I think there was like the first one that they had for us to see, I want to say was Men in Black. Maybe it was, no, I think it was actually Jurassic Park.
Really?
Yeah. It's just so wild to think like I was there, yeah, I was looking at DVDs and mom was saying like I don't want to buy all my stuff again on discs.
I mean, I wouldn't have blamed her either, especially at that time. All right, my man, we gotta wrap up. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but thank you so much for being here. This was a great time, and I hope to have you back soon.
yeah, dude. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh man, I appreciate it more than words can describe. Everybody, I would usually say please go like and subscribe to his channel, but you probably already have. Let's be honest. He's huge. He's huge.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna turn on myself and be like, please go like and subscribe to my channel, cause you know, I'm gonna keep bringing you this great entertainment with people you love, like Mr. Creepypasta. Spike, I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember,
Thanks, man. You
everybody,
too.
you are loved and you are validated always.